Okay, everyone, it's time to ask the club. James is here, Liam's here, Ped's here, and so am I. I mean, that's obvious. You can see us. I don't even know why I said it. But anyway, you send your questions in via the Ball Street Twitter account, at Ball Street, in case you didn't know, and we ask the panel said questions. Adam Rosybum says, why haven't Sunderland sacked David Moyes? James, he is of the bottom 6, I think it is. He's the only manager still to remain in the job from the start of the season. It seems crazy considering they are absolutely going down.
I guess so, but I don't really like this whole it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and it's one of your lives. It's like get rid of the manager, you get the little turbo boost, and you get to win a couple of games.
Yeah,
it's like the whole Ranieri thing. I still don't like that.
You just like you like the joy and the agony and the ecstasy of a bit of a promotion relegation thing.
Well, no, not that. It's just
like getting Neil Warnock back.
Yeah, you do, John. I reckon this is why, because I just looked at their team for the last game. So Pickford, Jones, Oviedo, Denea, Larson, Rodwell, Barini, O'Shea, Defoe, Gibson, Januzaj.
Is it because of the shit?
And that's
no manager's going to keep them up.
It's because no one else will be able to manage that set of players, because he's the only one who's ever managed that set of players.
Yeah. I essentially think that
ex-players.
I think the board have kind of given up on Sunderland. They need to start again. And I know that's such a stupid comment because you just don't want to go down, do you? But they're in such a mess, and there wasn't that much that he could do with it. Really.
Is there an arrogance to Sunderland in that regard, though? Because they've done it, and they've gone down and come back up so many times that maybe they think we've done this before. We'll go down and we'll.
I think if they sacked them, they'd probably break the record for the amount of managers they were paying compensation to at the same time, because they do it everything. I think it's.
Is there a limit how many direct debits you can have?
Yeah, exactly. She wants bounced. I think they should, to be honest, they probably should just leave it, because they have sacked managers every year, and to be fair, they just keep going through the same cycle. Yeah. And as much as people can say, well, it saved us, that cycle just keeps on. How about just leaving them?
There's only so many players you can change.
Let them go down if they go down, and let them rebuild and come back up. A bit like sort of Newcastle have done in the past.
They've got the money to do that, but the difference...
They haven't got the money, though, have they?
But Newcastle went down with some good players and made £60 million in player sales in the summer to reinvest.
And
I don't know how much of that they reinvested, but I suspect they've got at least a moderate war chest for buying Premier League.
They don't have any money, honestly, to skin.
The question is, who are they going to bring in? Who's going to come in there and do a better job than David Moyes? I mean, no disrespect to Everton, but he did well at Everton with the same kind of group of players at the time. He
didn't do too bad with Man United. If you look at what other people have done since.
There's that as well. But
you've probably got a squad there actually that will go into the Championship, and I'm not sure they would get out of the Championship. But you'd have players who probably won't all go. Someone like John O'Shea, you can get another good year out of him in the Championship. And Moyes is a
I think it'd be harsh. I think he's been sold. I know he's been sold an absolute lie there. He was supposed to have money and all kinds, and he just pulled the rug from underneath him once he got in there. So that would be hard. The people who run it don't give a fuck, let's be honest. They don't. Ellis Short doesn't care.
The smart thing to do is stick with him, and next year, if they don't go up straight away, they still have enough money and you can give him the time, because that is a massive club.
I suppose it would. I mean, again, you're right. In terms of they go down to the Championship, regardless of how Moyes' stock's fallen in the last couple of years, he's still too good for the Championship. I don't want to sound really offensive like that, but you know what I mean. He's a Premier League caliber manager, isn't he?
Absolutely.
I think his biggest failing is he keeps on trying to reproduce what he did at Everton. Yeah, and you can't do that
by signing all Everton's ex-players.
That's helpful. But he's gone with that proves though. It's like he's had to go with what he knows, because he can't take the risk on players because he just haven't got any money.
You know, the way that he does play would work really well in the Championship.
Yeah, of course it would.
They'd be steady.
Okay,
but he never got out of them in the first place.
Joe Fairfield, Joe Everton, 1878. Wonder what team he supports. Will the current top 7 break away from the rest of the Premier League for the next few years? I believe so. What about any of you?
I'd like to say yes, but look what Leicester did last year. There's no real guarantee in anything, is there? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying the likelihood of them breaking away is a...
It depends. I think a lot of that will depend upon... I think the top 7's pretty much broken away already to some extent. I think it's clinging on by a thread. It depends how Everton spend in the summer. I do worry for 7 teams fighting for four places. Like,
I mean, I don't want to be arrogant. I just think that us ourselves, we'll just keep going upwards. I suppose it just depends if anyone else wants to take the risk. You've got the clubs that are behind the top 7 at the moment. You don't really look at them.
West Brom no,
but what
always be.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is you don't. I remember a few years ago when Villa got their owner, Randy Lerner, and he came in and he sort of looked. He spent loads of money and he sort of looked what it took to get into the top 4, like from 5th. And it was like 200 million, and he just went, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
He went, "What's the point?" And you look.
He looked at Darren Bent and went, "Yeah, you're not going to be enough."
So you look at those teams, don't you? You look at those teams at the moment, 8th through to like 14th, and you just think those teams will just be happy plodding along. And again, I'm not having a go in those teams, but the top 7 at the moment are pretty much the top 7 clubs in the country, apart from Chelsea.
You could see this being ring-fenced, though, couldn't you, James? You know, if let's say England are guaranteed 7, depending on, I think it's depending on progression in other tournaments and cups or whatever, but you could see a world where the top 7 is always a European place in the Premier League, and those top 7 teams just continue to get, they've got money, they continue to get richer. You don't see. You can look, Leicester are an outlier. You can't predict that. But if you were all betting people, you can't see Stoke or West Brom or whatever being the team to take that step.
I don't know. I think
you need to believe that it's possible.
No, yeah, but personally, I did it. But do you know what, this top 7 phrase, that was only kind of come about this year.
Fucking hell, it's only happened this weekend.
Exactly. So that's
when Man United dropped into it.
Secondly, I think the teams below. I think you're right in the sense that West Brom, West Ham, Southampton. Maybe take West Ham out of that. Southampton, Stoke, really well-run clubs, but if players are good enough, then they'll go to one of those bigger teams. So you're banking on them creating weight, banking on them creating a really good team. But with the TV money, there is enough players out there that these things can happen.
Can I make a very controversial point?
Ooh.
He's so excited.
Haven't just called some. Go on, it's fine.
The only team I can see breaking into it,
Newcastle.
I feel dirty actually saying it's Newcastle.
All right.
I feel really dirty saying that.
Really?
But yeah, I do honestly. If they come up next season,
And keep Benitez.
and keep Benitez,
It's actually going to spend the money though. That's the thing.
no. But what I mean is that you break up the top 7. You break it up by having better teams in there who can beat them. And I think Newcastle come up, and if St James's Park's a bit of a fortress, then suddenly that's another tough place to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not. And that's don't forget, 7's a lot of teams. It's a lot of teams. They're all having to play each other, and that can break it up as well. So, but long term, financially, I think that could be definitely the 7.
West Ham are growing in a big way in terms of commercial partners.
But
as well.
they're two managers.
I'm not having West Ham.
I know. Listen, shut up.
I'm not having West Ham.
Listen, shut
I'm
up.
not having West Ham.
Because West Ham.
I've just been nice to Newcastle.
No,
I've got to balance it out.
Yeah, no, I actually agree, James. I think actually I'd not considered it. Depending if they manage to get, if they get it right, if they fix the stadium or something,
West
then
Ham?
they could potentially be.
The only way that's going to happen is if they get rid of their fucking 2 owners. They're 2 absolute head cases.
Yeah,
The two of them
I
are nuts.
know.
Did you see today? They came out today and said we've been interviewing other managers behind Billich's back. That's
Did he?
insane.
You know what? I'm gutted because I
Goes
thought you were going to
against
say.
the point
I thought you were going to
of
say
Manny Back,
dildos buy one get one free.
I've been cheating on you, dear.
That's what it's like. It's just what did he say? He put something on the website during the week about. About it's just fucking nuts.
Sure, that's true.
Right, okay.
Breaking news: crotchless knickers, $4.99.
Right.
Talking
Anyway,
about it on Talksport today.
Ethan Hughes 7 says, "Who Everton needs a sign to show Lukaku we mean business." I think you need to go out and sign someone who would otherwise have signed for Man United, Liverpool, Spurs.
Griezmann,
No, don't be daft.
Lacazette.
Lacazette. If you go and sign, if you went and signed someone who everyone, I'm not saying that anyone would be interested in, because Lacazette is the perfect answer to that question, I think, because clearly no one's taken a punt on him yet, but everyone who outside football who plays FIFA and Footy Manager is like, oh, Lacazette. If you did that, everyone would go.
No, but there's the other kid, isn't there?
He'd be your opinion.
I've suddenly forgot his name. The kid who plays for Anderlecht, who's ripping her up.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's his
no
name?
way knowing.
Come on, someone help me out.
No way knowing.
He plays for Anderlecht.
There's people screaming.
No, I know. There is.
Screens right now going, ah!
And I've left my phone in our studio. He plays for Anderlecht, young lads, and Lukaku actually went to see him a couple of weeks ago, and he's ripping her up, and everyone's after him, and I can't remember the fucking name.
Yeah. But him.
Someone like him, because
Big name like him.
Because what he's saying.
Household name like him, yeah.
But see, blank mind. But everyone's after him, right?
Yeah.
Who? This kid, I can't remember his name. Is it Niederman or? Everyone's after him. Honestly, they are. Okay. And Lukaku sees him as an upcoming player for Belgium and for and so that someone like him could be perfect as well. Another mate at the club.
There's a guy called Anthony. It's Modest or Modesti or something like that. He scored like 22 goals in 25 games for FC Köln, and then
for fucking who?
For FC Köln, Germany.
Oh.
And
Köln.
I saw one game with him. He looked class. Yeah. I reckon, and he's like a big guy.
There's definitely something like that. I think
Does it have to be a marquee signing?
Well, I think marquee means different things. I think it's not going out and signing Anton Griezmann because it's not going to happen.
No, I know.
But it's going out and buying someone that it's Robinho.
It's going out. No, it's not.
But
Robinho.
It's not Robinho.
It's not Robinho.
But Robinho
it's going out and beating other top clubs to someone who's like coming through. So. Like one of those fucking players from Monaco who are ripping up. I don't know their names either.
Falcao.
Yeah, Falcao fella. No, someone like that. I think who's.
Go on, Liam. Who would you?
I don't know, man.
It's Rooney, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say something really controversial. I'd love to see Rooney go back to Everton. I would. I really would.
We could just go and spunk all our money on a walking advertisement like they did. So
Pogba. The jury's still out for me.
Hashtag Pogba. Anyway, __ Harshal B. What do you lads think about protesting before and during the game? Sure, it's not going to help the team on the pitch. Before, I think's fine. I think after's fine. I don't agree with protests during the game, although, Right, okay, let me rephrase that. Because the walkout I thought was a really good thing. I think if you're protesting wider issues, fine. I think if you're protesting against your manager, I don't think that's got a place inside the stadium. I think there's funnier ways to do it. I like Liverpool singing Hodgson for England when we didn't want to
but witty cop.
Oh, I love it. I loved it. But well, go on, James. What do you reckon? Again, you were there. You've seen the Arsenal protest. What did you make of it?
Well, yeah. They've done both, haven't they? They kind of did it before. And then did it during with the planes this time. I think it doesn't sit well with me protesting about a manager or the players, because generally they probably are trying their best. But something a wider issue, then if it's worth it, then it's worth it.
I think you're supposed to be supporting the team, aren't you? No matter what, you're still a supporter of that club, regardless who the manager is. If you want to have a protest, do it before or after the game, but you're still, while at the stadium, while the match is being played, you're still supporting the team.
Exactly. I think the thing is, what you do is, it's not a protest. During the game, it shouldn't be a stage thing. It shouldn't be a managed thing. Let's be honest. If your team's lost like a ton on the bounce, people just get off, don't they? You know what I mean? And maybe they don't know the difference because loads of people get off to try and get the tube or whatever. But, it should be noticeable. I'm not totally down with booing or whatever, but what happens, fans just have enough. They stop turning up to games and they start leaving with 5 minutes to go and another game's been lost. And, that's how you send a message by the volume of people in the ground. I don't think it needs printed out sheets and
what makes me nervous is the quantity of protests, because you're diluting ones that could be on something really, really, really important, and people go, "Oh, it's just another one." People get desensitized, and it doesn't have any worth.
Yeah. I get it from the Arsenal perspective, because they were a unique case that none of us can relate to, because the manager is so entrenched. They genuinely must feel like we've got to make a big show of this to try and get our voices be heard. Because if we don't say anything, it's going to carry on. Because again, it's the same thing over again. You get in top four, that's the expectation.
The question is the right way to do it during the game. That's the big question.
Exactly. What I'm saying is, I don't agree with it. But I also can't put me. It's hard for me to put myself in the Arsenal shoes, because you would start to think, what lengths do we need to go to make this happen?
Tielemans. That's the kid's name. Tielemans, that's him.
Amazing.
That's him. I know now.
Absolutely. And now we all know as well.
Now everyone knows Tielemans.
How many people, I genuinely would love to know the timeline of how many people had wrote that in the comments prior to that being
everyone's after him.
Yeah, let's know if you got it before.
Yeah, depends. I've got no problem with it happening in the ground if it's a big thing, because I just sometimes go, can't do that during a game. Well, what happens if the subject matter is just much bigger than that one individual game?
Yeah.
But
What about for the manager?
Do it afterwards.
Yeah.
That's what we did with Martinez. We did it after the game. I think we won the game as well. We did it, we stayed, and the owner actually walked out the ground, so seen us all do it. So it was more effective. It wasn't lost.
Yeah.
Your people stayed and did it.
Your owner's not outside the ground, is he? That's a good
It wasn't lost. It wasn't lost on
other
people, and no one else got involved that could cause an argument with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no infighting. It was done after the game. And although Everton tried to turn the PA system up to fucking
drown it out.
Mad. Even though it was after the game. Never mind.
Yeah, it is definitely an interesting one. Like I say, I don't agree with it, but I also haven't been in the same situation that Arsenal fans are in. Johnny H, 1878 Johnny. Will the panel, obviously not Ped, be genuinely happy for Everton fans when we get the ground on the docks? No, I will. You know why? I'll be honest, because much like anything, I think you get what you deserve. Now, I'd be happy for you not to be in Kirby, because I don't want. I'm happy for Everton to be within the city.
Well, we left Kirby for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could, yeah, no, fair point. But not for the stadium.
No.
Not for the stadium. Look, if Everton get a look, it's hard for me to phrase this right, because I want Everton to be good. I just don't want them to be as good as Liverpool. You know, I want Merseyside or Liverpool to get back to being where it was in the 80s, and that's right at the pinnacle of English football, 1 and 2 in the league, provided it's Liverpool 1, Everton 2, and look, Goodison Park's
that's not
fit.
the address.
Goodison Park, whatever. Goodison Park's not fit for purpose, and it's a shame. And unfortunately for Everton, they haven't necessarily got the clout or whatever to or the brazen bollocks to ruin the local area like Liverpool did to get themselves the expansion on Anfield. So Everton get a good.
We've got a wicked
stadium,
record at Goodison, so I'll be sad.
When was the last time played?
Well, last time we beat you 1-0.
When was that?
1-0. It was 2013, I think. Tommy Smith with the winning goal. Yeah. Next question.
Well, yeah. Anyone else got a thought on it?
Could give less of a fuck, to be honest.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, but obviously you'll be delirious.
Well,
actually, no, will you though? Because
yes, I will. Thank you.
No.
I'll be fucking made up.
So what Everton get what are they proposing in terms of size?
60 to 80.
60 to 80.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So no, fine. Well, let's say 60 for the sake of argument.
60.
You get a 60,000 capacity stadium, and Goodison Park gets.
How big is Goodison?
Goodison gets 40, knocked down and gets
Do
into
you know what?
or whatever.
I don't think it.
Is that what the plan is?
I've heard rumours that they're not going to knock it down.
Well, of course they're going to knock it down.
No, I've heard rumours that the club... Listen, the club are fucking looking after our area amazingly well. We're like the opposite of Liverpool.
Oh, Everton, the community is amazing.
So there's actually talk that we're not going to knock it down. Like, we're going to try and... Well, like ours...
do what with it?
Well, Arsenal haven't knocked Highbury down, have they?
They have.
No, they haven't. They had listed buildings, so they couldn't knock it down.
Okay, well, they haven't knocked down the North Stand or whatever it is. It's
built
still there.
flats.
I've seen it.
That's
The facade's
exactly,
there. I've been there.
Exactly, and that's what I've heard. That's what.
But the point I'm making is that Goodison Park will never be a football ground.
No,
ever
okay,
again.
that's fine.
Unless you'll have to see the bulldozers come in.
Ground.
Ooh.
For
the Perps.
For the
City of Liverpool FC.
Under 23s.
You mean keep?
No, they might get rid of like the main stand and keep the ground and rebuild. I've heard different things about it. I've heard can we just move on to the new ground?
It sounds.
The new ground. This is what I message to all these fucking idiot Reds, right? Who were kicking off about fucking small ships and fucking tobacco warehouses and all this shit they've done, which they have. It's on the phone-ins of people who gone, that's terrible getting rid of docks. Well, it's not a working dock, mate, for a start. And all these stupid excuses of why we don't have a ground, right? Would those people be happy when the likes of, let's just say, the Foo Fighters or fucking Beyonce or whoever turn up and play outdoor gigs in the summer? Will they be happy when we've got a massive stadium where there'll be massive gigs held in the summer? Will they be happy that there's another sort?
Are you genuinely selling the positives
of
this ground on bringing Beyonce to Liverpool?
Yes, I am. Because I think these people need to get out their own.
What have you become?
If you get a stadium
You're
like
going
that,
to be the Spurs in the North
if any club gets a stadium like that anywhere in the UK, it's going to be obviously going to be great for the city.
Yeah,
it's obviously going to be great for the city. But that shouldn't be the reason why you want a new ground.
No, that's not the reason why I want a new ground. I'm talking to these idiot Reds who are kicking off about us getting a new ground because it's going to fucking... because of all these stupid reasons. What I'm saying to them, when Liverpool got a new stand, the first thing I thought was more fans, more people coming to the city, more money for me. Happy days. Yeah. That's all I thought. Yeah. No issues whatsoever. What's the problem? What is the problem?
Maybe the transport links. Do you remember how bad... This is not references. Remember Pleasure Island?
Mate,
do you remember how hard it was to get to Pleasure Island?
Let's not talk about transport links.
Have
you tried to...
I don't care. Look, give them a new stadium. It'd be fine. What I think is... all I'd say is, look at West Ham. And even if they design your stadium impeccably, there's something about... look, Goodison Park is a wooden tinderbox waiting to go up at any moment. But there's something very Everton about That's him. And as much as people, I was in on the idea of a 70,000 stadium on Stanley Park for Liverpool, all bright new and shiny. Having seen the new main stand and seen that, I'm glad we've stayed put, and I think you might lose something in moving out.
We won't. Honestly, we won't.
Even if it's purpose built, the difference with West Ham is they moved into someone else's stadium.
That nobody wanted. Yeah. That nobody wanted.
But again,
we all want our stadium. We want a Bosch new shiny stadium on the River Mersey that everyone sees and that becomes iconic. That's what we want.
Yeah. Well, just lastly on this, just to throw it over to, because QPR, Loftus Road is another iconic old ground. No, but you go and move to a
been to Boca Juniors.
But you go and move to a nice shiny round one where it's all integrated and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I know. Would you be down?
I'd be devastated. Yeah. I love that everyone else hates Loftus Road. Because I don't care what you think. I love it.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters. But if you want to be top 6, QPR aren't going to be top 6. If you want to be top 6, then you need that massive ground. Exactly. So it makes sense.
Fair enough. And lastly for this week, Miles_Tarbox asks quite simply, is Ped fake taxi? Yeah. Balls deep,
Get me Baz wig.
If you're under 18, don't Google.
I get me Baz wig and
fake taxi. Ask your parents' permission before googling fake taxi.
Don't ask your parents' permission.
Worse. Don't reference Ball Street at any point.
Enter the word.
Do not Google fake taxi Ball Street either. Yeah. I don't know what that's going to be.
Ped fake taxi, just saying. Okay, good to know. Thanks for your questions this week, guys. As ever, we got the show every single Tuesday. If you want to get your questions featured, we put the question out on a Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Go and follow @Ball Street on Twitter. If you want more great Ball Street content that's not necessarily visually based, there's a podcast, the Long Ball Street podcast. We actually discuss a lot of the fan culture things. Stadium stuff was something that was brought up on a podcast. I think it was last week.
Michael Dewberry interview this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
I wasn't.
So if you don't know who he is, he's interested.
Get
on that.
Google Michael Dewberry fake taxi.
But yeah, you can listen to the Long Ball Street podcast. You can go and watch it on YouTube as well, and you can subscribe to the Ball Street channel. If you haven't done so already, please do. Obviously, get on Great Touch for a Big Lad podcast. Liam does stuff for United People's TV occasionally. Ped's got Toffee TV, and I've got my channel as well at the moment, HTV and the Redmen TV. All good things to keep you entertained before you're back here on Friday for the all-time Prem 11.